Good morning. Great morning. Wonderful morning. Spectacular morning. Outstanding morning. Magnificent morning. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. Yes. Again, as with the beginning of every one of these calls, the reminder of choice. And again, what is that choice? Well, it's the choice of thought, the choice of how you're going to move information around in your magnificent, wonderful, powerful mind. See, it's through that movement that you're led onto a frequency, and that frequency, which is feeling, is the attractive force of your life. It's also the repelling force in your life. See, attraction, repulsion, that's what happens when you are in a specific state of vibration. Now, think about how important that is. Why is it that I repeat it so much? Well, because of how important it is. See, when you learn how to do that, when you're able to shift that feeling, everything changes. Isn't it interesting how when you feel something, you automatically act in correspondence to whatever that feeling is? And when I say act, I'm talking about you automatically physically go and do those things. See, that's why it's so important, because that's where the outcomes come from. Outcomes meaning the results of your life. Remember, your outer world, what's happening in your life, is a reflection of what's happening in your inner world, a reflection, and it's a perfect reflection. If you want to change what's happening in your outer world, change what's in front of the mirror or change how you're thinking. And that's what we've been diving into with this beautiful gem, the Master Key System. Charles Haanel has done a fantastic job with writing out what happens in the inner world and how to change it. And we're going to go even further after this with this beautiful gem here. There's no such thing as self-sabotage. We recommend that you get this right away. There's a link that we're going to provide you to go and get your copy. It's going to be something that's amazing for you if you use it, as long as you use it, okay? So with that being said, again, take control of that inner narrative inside by using what it is that we're sharing with you. And if you do, you're going to see great changes in your life. All right, so let's go into where we are, shall we? Let's go into the book. One, two, three, boom. And this is something we went over yesterday, but we're going to go over it again because of how important it is. Now, remember, this has to do with you changing results in your life, with you changing the outcomes. You want to earn more, you want to shift your lifestyle, you want to change the home in which you live, all of it. Everything that we're sharing with you is going to help you to do that, but it's got to be in your thought process. So, what explanation is to be given of the fact that although a great majority of the people, not only throughout Europe but the United States, are sick of war and want peace and want only peace and return to prosperous, normal conditions, to return to that, that the return of the desired normal, prosperous conditions is such a slow, hard process. Now, what's amazing is you can apply this to anything. You can think of it in terms of, okay, you've been delivering certain outcomes in your life. Maybe they're not what you desire them to be, but you would love to change it. Why is it such a slow, hard process to make those changes? Now, in this particular case, he's talking about war and peace. Now, what does he point out here? What does he point out? He says, there is, of course, as you say, no desire on the part of anyone for more war. There, just as there is no desire for poverty. Now think about that. There's no desire for more war from anybody. Even today, by the way, it's the same thing. Just as there's no desire for poverty, crime, or any other destructive condition. But there is, on the other hand, a conscious or subconscious desire for the things which bring about war, destruction, poverty, and crime. And this lust of power or separation is the old question of who is to be the greatest in the kingdom. Now, the law is no respecter of persons. This is true concerning nations as well as individuals, as well as you. Nations, now you got to remember, nations, there's cities, there's counties, there's states, there's even the family dynamic, all of which have what's called a paradigm. Paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over your habitual behavior. And that mental program consists of what you believe to be true and the habits you have. See, it's a whole bunch of subconscious groupthink. Now, here he's saying nations as well as individuals will eventually learn that force can always be met with equal, if not superior force, and for this reason can never be the determining factor of any situation. Objective harmony can only come as a result of subjective harmony. In other words, the results on the outside can only happen if what's happening inside is in harmony with that. Now, think of that for you when it comes to your goal. The only way that this can become a material fact in your life is if you're in harmony with it inside. So again, objective harmony can come only as a result of subjective harmony, and subjective harmony can only come only as a result of vision, understanding, and perception. See, when you look at the core of what this answer is, it's very simple. Very, very simple. The reason why it takes so long for change to happen for most people is because of the paradigm they have. It's because there is a habit of thinking a certain way, not understanding that you have to change how you're thinking to deliver the outcome. And the simplest and fun example that I share with you frequently is this. Will you be able to be happy most of the time if your mind is saturated with thoughts of sadness and disappointment? If you have a habit of thinking sad thoughts, disappointing thoughts, will you be able to be happy? The answer is no. Why? Because things are not brought into existence by thinking of their opposites. There's no way you're going to be able to deliver that outcome of being happy most of the time as long as the pattern of unhappiness is in you, as long as the belief that is associated with that is in you. And see, that's why it takes long to change. That's why there's struggle. Remember, struggle is solely because your conditioning doesn't recognize the conclusion. Now, what's beautiful is when you understand that, you're able to shift what's inside of you, create a new normal in your thought process, which then delivers a new normal. See, when that inner conflict is resolved, there's no longer this battle of this higher version of you and the paradigm that's in you. And by the way, that's what you're battling. You're not battling against yourself. That's a foolish thing that's been shared with you. The personal development world and a lot of other people have told you it's a lie. It's not true. You're not at odds with yourself. You're not your own worst enemy. None of that's true. And we're going to dive into that in this book when we start studying this. This is going to be amazing. Okay, so again, really grab onto this though. And think about how important it is for you because you can change it. You can shift the narrative inside. Now, for those of you who are watching this live stream, and if you love to tap into the recordings for this, go to elevitality.com and register for Master Your Mind. You'll thank yourself later.